Hello and welcome to Travelling Threads Crochet. Today on this video I'm going to show you how to make these super cute face scrubbies for removing makeup, for doing your normal skincare routine. They're super soft. We're using Aran weight cotton yarn. You're going to need a 5mm crochet hook, one darning needle to weave in your ends, and just a pair of scissors. So not a lot of equipment, it's super easy. They're made using these lovely textured popcorn stitches. They are really quick, so I'm going to make it real time with you in this video. So grab your crochet gear and we will make one together. So first I'm going to take the first colour, which I'm using a buttercup yellow, and we're going to make a magic loop. So if you have not made a magic loop before, or you're a little bit rusty, I also have a video on how to make a magic loop on my YouTube channel. So if you need to, go ahead and check that first and then join me back here. So once you have your loop made, we're going to single crochet 8 into the circle, into the center. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm just going to pull that a little tighter, 6, 7 and 8. So there we have 8 single crochets. Pull the free end of your yarn so that your loop goes tight. And then find the first single crochet we made, which is this one here, and slip stitch into the top of it to finish the round and close the circle. Oh, I missed a thread there. Let's do that again. Just like so. So now you have completed round 1. For the first stage of round 2, you are going to chain 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and this chain 4 counts as 1 double crochet plus chain 1. Okay, so the first 3 chains count as a double crochet and the last chain counts as chain 1. And then into the very same stitch, this one here, you are going to make 4 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3 and 4 double crochets. So these 4 double crochets are going to be our first popcorn stitch. So we're going to lift our yarn up a little, take out the hook and go back to the first double crochet of this 4 double crochet fan. So find that first double crochet stitch, slip your hook from front to back through the top of the stitch, just like that. Then pop your working yarn back over your hook. Now we're going to draw from back to front through the top of that stitch, just like that. And then we're going to chain 1. Okay, so that's your first popcorn stitch completed. We are going to move to the second stitch from round 1. This one here, and we are going to make 1 double crochet, and then we're going to make 1 chain. Then into the very same stitch we're going to make 4 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And this is going to be our second popcorn stitch. So raising your yarn up a little, remove your hook, count back 4 double crochets to this one here, the 4th one in this group of 4, and slip your hook from front to back through the top of the stitch. Pop your working yarn back on and then draw through the back of that stitch and chain 1. So you've now got 2 bouncy popcorn stitches. Okay, so then find the next stitch along from round 1, this one here, and make 1 double crochet and chain 1. Now we're going to make 4 double crochets into the same stitch just like before. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then again, lifting your yarn up, pulling your hook out, counting back 4 to this stitch here. Slip your hook from front to back through the top of the stitch and put your working yarn back on and draw through the back of the stitch like so. Chain 1 and find the next stitch along from round 1. It can get a bit tricky to find the next stitch as the popcorns build up because they kind of get all fat and bouncy, so make sure that you're not missing any stitches from round 1. So we're going to make 1 double crochet into the next stitch and then chain 1 and then 4 more double crochets into that exact same stitch. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So now transform into a popcorn stitch, take your hook out, go back 4 double crochets, slip your hook from front to back through the top of the stitch, put your working yarn back on, draw it through and then chain 1. And again, yarn over, find the next stitch along from round 1, make 1 double crochet and chain 1. And then we're going to make 4 more double crochets again. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then taking your hook out, counting back 4 to this stitch here, slipping your hook from front to back, working yarn over and pull through the back. Chain 1. Yarn over, find the next stitch from round 1, make 1 double crochet, chain 1. Make 4 more double crochets into the same space, into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then pulling your yarn up a little, removing your hook, slip your hook into that 4th double crochet, yarn back on and pull through. Chain 1. Let me just count how many popcorns we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we're going to make 2 more because we're going to have 8 popcorn stitches. So find the next stitch along. I'll get tongue-tied with that. Yarn over, make 1 double crochet, chain 1, and then 4 more double crochets into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Yarn up, hook out, from front to back, slip your hook through, put your yarn back on and pull through and chain 1. So we're going to be making our final popcorn. So first of all, find the next stitch, make 1 double crochet, chain 1 and then 4 double crochets into that same stitch. 1, 2, 3 and 4. For the final time, hook out, count back 4 stitches, slip your hook in, grab your working yarn, pull it through, and don't forget to chain 1. Okay, so now we have 8 popcorn stitches and 8 single double crochets in between those popcorn stitches. Now if you remember, we started round 2 by chaining 4, and we want to close this round 2 by slip stitching into chain 3 of that chain 4. So 1, 2, 3. So it might be a little tricky, but if we just maneuver our hook and we want to work through that 3rd chain and slip stitch. Oh, I missed a thread there. This yarn does tend to split just a little bit. Let's try again. So slip stitch. Oh, I've still missed one. My OCD means I have to grab that. Otherwise it will drive me mad later. So slip stitch to close that round. And there we go. So that's round 2 completed. So now we're going to chain 1 just to build up our yarn for the next round. And we are going to make 2 single crochets into this same chain 3 space here, okay, that we just slip stitched into. So make 2 single crochets into that same space that you just slip stitched into, sorry. So 2 single crochets. There we go. Now we're going to skip the chain, we're going to skip the popcorn, we're going to skip the next chain and find the double crochet, the single double crochet on its own there in between the 2 popcorn stitches. And we're going to make 3 single crochets into the top of that stitch. 1, 2 and 3. Then skipping the chain, skipping the next popcorn, skipping the chain, find the next double crochet on its own there in between the popcorns and single crochet 3 into the top of that one. 1, 2 and 3. And again, skipping the chain, skipping the popcorn, skipping the chain, the next double crochet in between the popcorns, single crochet 3. 1, 2 and 3. And we're going to keep doing this all the way around the circle, skipping the popcorn, skipping the chains, and just making 3 single crochets into each double crochet stitch. Okay, 1, 2 and 3. Skipping those, finding the next double crochet, this one here, making 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. 1, oops, let's get that in the right place. 2 and 3. And once you've made your 3 single crochets into each double crochet in the round, you want to find where we put our first 2 single crochets at the beginning of the round, which is right here. And we need to pop just 1 more single crochet into that same space so that we have 3 in this stitch as well, the same as all the rest. So find that first 2 single crochets you made and pop 1 more single crochet right next to it into the same stitch, just like that. And then to close the round, we're going to slip stitch into the top of the first single crochet that we made of this round to complete the circle. Okay, just like that. So now we've completed round 2. I am going to change colour here. You don't have to, but I think it looks extra pretty with 2 colours. So I'm going to chain 1 and pull some yarn through. I'm going to give my yarn a snip, leaving a tail to weave in later, just like that. So you can see how pretty it is with its beautiful popcorns. And now you want to grab your second colour. I am going to use this blue. I would love to see what colours you are making. It gets very addictive mixing it all up. And with your new colour, your second colour, you want to make a slip stitch, just like that. Before we start round 3, I just want to say I'm going to refer to each of these groups of single crochets as clusters. So each cluster has got 3 single crochets in it, and we are going to be working into the center, the second single crochet, the middle one, to begin with. Okay, so I'm going to start where I finished my first color. So working into the middle single crochet of the cluster, I'm going to put my hook through that one and attach my new colour with the slip stitch onto it, just like that. I'm going to pull my new colour through, just like that, and then I'm going to chain 3. And this chain 3 is going to count as double crochet 1 or 1 double crochet. So chain 3. And into that very same stitch, we're going to pop 1 more double crochet. So now we have 2 double crochets into that stitch. Now, at the end of this first cluster that we've been working into, and before we get to the second cluster of single crochets, we are not going to work into the top of a stitch, but we're going to work in between the last stitch of the first cluster we've worked into and the first stitch of the second cluster. So can you see, if I take my hook out, hopefully you can see this space here between the 2 clusters, just here. And we are going to make 1 single crochet into that space. So not into a stitch, but into the middle of 2 stitches, just like that. Yarn over, find the central single crochet stitch of the next cluster, which is here. And we're going to make 3 double crochets in there, kind of like a petal. Think of them as a petal. So that's 1, 2, 3. So there we've made our first full petal. And then we're going to find the space between the end of this cluster of single crochets and the start of the next cluster of single crochets and work in this space in between it, making 1 single crochet. Just like that. Then finding the next central single crochet from the next cluster, we're going to yarn over and make 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. So that's another complete petal, just like that. And then finding the space between the 2 groups, between the 2 clusters, right in there, we're going to make 1 single crochet. Again, finding the central stitch of the next cluster, yarn over and make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And then our next single crochet going in between the 2 clusters, so in that space there. Okay, 1 single crochet, and then 3 double crochets or 1 petal into the central single crochet of the next cluster. And then 1 single crochet in that gap in between the 2 clusters, yarn over, and then 3 more double crochets into the middle stitch of the cluster. Gonna need a bit more yarn, and then another single crochet in between the 2 clusters. Finding the central stitch, make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and another single crochet between the two clusters, yarn over, 3 more double crochets into the middle stitch, 1, 2 and 3, and yes, I think this is going to be our final single crochet. So finding the gap again, just in there, 1 single crochet, and now to finish the round we're going to come back to our first double crochets that we made. We made 2 double crochets here, 1 chain 3 which counted as a double crochet, and then another double crochet, and we want to put 1 more double crochet into that very same space, into that very same stitch, so that we have 3 and we make a full petal. Okay, so 1 more double crochet into that same stitch. Then we're going to find the 3rd chain of that chain 3, this one here, and slip stitch into it to complete the round, to make the circle. Great, and there we go. So chain 1, pull your yarn through, you can cut your yarn leaving a nice tail to weave in. And that's it. We've made it in real time. They are super cute. They are super sweet and handy and useful. I hope you've enjoyed making it. Make them in lots and lots of colours. They make great gifts. And yeah, I hope you have loads of fun. Great for a scrap yarn project too. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.